All right, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with a $30 million producer and a guy that's got 278 agents on his team, and that's personal production that he does, and he's in Melbourne, Florida, and we'll be right back. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. That's right, I do guarantee it, and I'm so excited to be here today. We are broadcasting live from Dallas, Texas, Lincoln Center, LBJ in the corner of the tollway, and super excited to have my co-host here again today, C3. What's going on, my friend and son? Good to see you there.
Hey, awesome to be here.
Awesome, and are you excited about having Chris?
I'm excited about Chris today. This is going to be great.
Yeah,
I'm super excited about that.
You spent a little time with Chris, and you know what kind of an animal he is, right? He's beast.
He's awesome.
And we're going to lay it down for the audience today. Yeah. Trelvis, you out there?
I am. I'm back here, man.
All right. What's the weather look like for the rest of the flight today?
Hey, you know what? It's a little bit cloudy, but I think we'll get through it, man.
No. Do I need to put my seatbelt on? No turbulence, right? I'm allowed to walk around the cabin.
A little bit of turbulence.
Okay, very good. Hey, by the way, I was going to let you know I was getting my daily dose of Lil Wayne yesterday. You know who Lil Wayne is?
I'm familiar. I think I'm familiar with.
You heard of him? Wayne. Yeah, maybe on the station or something.
Maybe one or two songs.
Yeah, and I was listening to a song, and this guy writes lyrics like, I mean, they are really good.
Right.
And he was talking about Scared Money. You ever heard that song?
Scared Money.
You know?
It does sound familiar.
Yeah.
What does he say?
He talks about scared money being broke money. Okay? And if you think about it, you know, people that make money with money, they put their money at risk, right?
Sure.
I mean, they don't put it under the mattress and hope it's going to do something for them.
Sure.
And so I was thinking about that and how that would apply to the show today. And you know what? It's amazing. We talked last time a little bit about having a mindset of abundance. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of money in the world. There is more money than you and I will ever be able to count. So if you're out there and you don't have money right now, I'm going to tell you something. You really don't have a money problem. What you have is a mindset problem. You have a mindset problem because there is an abundance of money. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
There is an abundance of money, more than you'll ever need and more than you can ever spend. So get your mind right, get your mindset right, and it's amazing how those things, just having the right mindset will help you go get that money that you want, that you need, that'll help you reach your goals. So just think about that. All right. Well, without any further ado, Trellis, and you don't have any Lil Wayne we could put on. Probably not on this show, I guess,
know what?
right?
Yeah, scared money don't make no money is what Wayne said one time. So
that's right. Scared money is broke money. Don't make no money. That's right. All right, let me tell you about Chris Bear. This guy is Hall of Fame material for the Real Estate Hall of Fame. At age 24, Chris started learning the business of real estate and was licensed as a realtor at age 28. He's got an amazing story. His first year, he achieved the title $1 Million Producer while still working full-time in the Sheriff's Department. I believe that was in Brevard County. And at age 30, he retired from law enforcement and opened his own independent real estate brokerage and did $20 million in sales his first year as an agent. Chris has now grown his team to over 278 agents. I'm going to let him tell you about that throughout the nation. And he personally, last year, I believe, did $30 million in sales and was ranked in the top 2% in realtors in the nation, involved in over 3,000 home sales. Chris found his calling when he was able to use his expertise in law and law enforcement and put it into everyday life of a realtor. I'm going to ask you about that because I was wondering if you had to take some of your clients to jail. He's a national speaker, real estate coach, and 18 months ago, Chris moved. You made a big move, Chris. You came over with us to eXp Realty, and you haven't looked back yet. And another thing that people might not know about you is you recently got your license, and I see you buzzing around all over the place now, flying airplanes, right? What are you looking for, a Piper? You're going to be buying one soon?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I've always wanted to fly since I was a child. My grandfather was a pilot, and I absolutely love flying. It's one of the best things I've done. But I am actually looking to purchase a plane this year. Looking at a nice little 6-seater. So I'll have to come pick you up, Cliff, in C3, and we'll have to go do some traveling.
Hey,
definitely.
That would sound great. You know, we're always up for that. We love hanging with you and so forth. And, you know, it's always such a pleasure to spend time with you and your lovely bride, Kristen, and your family. So we'll definitely do that. Well, hey, I know that you have got a lot to unpack here. We've got a great audience today. And by the way, if you're listening out there, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the heart button, show us some love. We're going to be watching for live comments coming in on the computer right here. So please, we're going to take questions live. If you would, feel free to do that. But Chris, I know that these people are here really for one main thing, and that's to find out some of the nuggets, some of the reasons why you've been so incredibly successful. Now, I know a lot about your history and your story, but the audience doesn't. If you would, take us back a little bit and talk to us about that time when you were first getting interested in real estate. What were you doing? You were a sheriff. In fact, you were a motorcycle rider, right? Sheriff and the motorcycle patrol. And then you and Brad were doing rental properties. Tell us about that time.
Yeah. So I got into law enforcement. Got in law enforcement at a very young age at 19. Just a passion I've had to be able to help other people and really just do a service to the community. But I mean, you got to give mad respect to the law enforcement that's out there and everything they do every day. It's hard, and I'm telling you, personal experience, the compensation is not great, and that's actually what got me into real estate. Is I came across an unexpected life event, and I needed some more financial means. And a buddy of mine, who's still a mentor of mine today, Chris Register, absolutely love this guy. He just wrote his second book. He was doing real estate, and I looked at him and I said, wow, man, if this guy can do it, like, I really feel like I can do it. And he gave me that support. And that was really the start of my real estate career, was being able to do it and feeling like I could do it because I watched them do it.
Well, that's, to go from law enforcement where you're out protecting, putting your life on the line every day to protect the public, to now you're putting your paycheck on the line every day at a very young age. I mean, that's got to be quite a thing. But, like I was talking about earlier about scared money, don't make no money. I mean, look, you got to get out there and take risks, right? And kind of get out of your, not kind of, you got to jump out of your comfort zone and do things that you're not, that you're not, don't know yet if you're capable of doing. So tell us about that first year. I mean, you guys, you really lit it on fire that first year. What were some of the things that you would advise agents now who were in their first year? What did you do, and what did you do right, and what did you do wrong, and what do you have to talk to these folks about today about that? Yeah,
great question, Cliff. So I honestly can say, if I can do this, anybody can do this. I really like to lead with that.
Oh my gosh.
And if I explain a little bit my first year in real estate, at the time I was on a specialty unit, really chasing down violent criminals around the state and around the nation. So I had long hair, I had a big beard, I looked like a scary person. And after work, I'd be out here working real estate and on the weekends. And so I had to overcome the first perception of someone when I walked up to meet them of, who is this guy? I mean, who is this guy that's coming up right now that's showing us this house? So I always say, if I'm able to do this, especially at that time in my life, everybody has an advantage already over me. But it was great. So the first year, one thing that I really did was my mindset. When I got my real estate license, I didn't get my real estate license and think to myself, how am I going to make money? I got my real estate license, and that was the ticket for me to make money. So right after I remember I passed that test, I walked out with that piece of paper for the state exam, and I got busy doing what I knew I needed to do. And that was to generate business, to stir up activity. And throughout my years now, and I'm really coaching teams and individual agents, it took me a long time to understand one thing that I have not been able to put into other individuals, and that's just grit. You've got to have the self-motivation. You've got to have the why. You've got to have the grit to get up every day and do this, because it is dependent on yourself. This was dependent on me. It wasn't dependent on the broker to give me deals or even to teach me how to do it, because when I started, I didn't have that benefit really of an atmosphere where there was a tremendous amount of training. And a lot of people get into this situation where you get your license, you hang it at a brokerage, and then they tell you, go sell real estate. And I'm sure, Cliff, you can relate with that, right?
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They say, here's a desk. Yeah. Here's the desk. Here's the phone book. Get to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you sit there now, literally just becoming a business owner. And that's the most important thing, is to understand you are a business owner. This is your business. What you put into it, you'll get back. I laugh at some of the stuff I did back in the day. You know what, Cliff, and I don't even know if it generated a sale for me. But what I do believe in is what you put in, like, life will return that back to you. And I remember when I was first into, I didn't have money for marketing. We hear it all the time, right? I don't have money for marketing. What do? Well, do something. I created a billboard sign, and I went to Home Depot, and I put these little hooks handles on the back. And I stood at street corners, busy street corners, waving my own sign with my face on it, this little slogan about selling your house and all this. And I wore a hat and sunglasses so people wouldn't know it was me on the sign that was holding the sign.
Dedication right there.
So my train of thought has been, do something. Keep moving. We hear always, fail forward. Well, what does that mean? It means you got to do something. And I don't know if I ever got one sale off of those, those street corners holding the sign. But I do know I was selling real estate. I always try to put myself in a situation to be around where potential buyers were. So, a lot of us went through the bank-owned properties, right? That was a great time. I got into the real estate market when it was at an all-time low. That's when everybody went bankrupt and got out. Here comes Chris Bear, I'm getting in. And I was really able to use, though, a lot of the situations for my advantage. One thing is, I didn't sit in an office. I'm a big believer, if you're in the office, you're not selling real estate. You've got to be outside of the office. The agents that I knew that sat in the office, they all did about $1 million a year, and every year was consistent. Never changed, because it was the same stories that were being told around the water cooler. So I told myself after experience that I would not be in the office. I would make it a goal to be anywhere but in the office, because that's not where real estate was being sold that I saw. So I would get the foreclosures and find ones that were really good deals. And I knew that buyers would be out there wanting to drive by and look at these. So I would sit in the driveways for hours, maybe 6, 7, 8 hours a day. And I'd be doing other work. We all have mobile phones now, laptops, hotspots. So I was doing work while I was sitting there. But as soon as a car pulled up and started driving slow, I would just jump out of the car as fast as I could. And I'd be like, hey, John, it's Chris. And the person would wind down the window, or their window would already be down. They'd be like, well, I'm not John. I'd be like, I was expecting to meet a John here, maybe to show him the house. And I would say, hey, are you guys looking at the house? And I sold home after home just by being available and saying, let me take you into the house. I'm here. Let me show you the property. And it was really just putting yourself out there. I kind of joke about it, but come on, everyone at one point in their life has been in the dating game, right? You're not going to hide in the house all day, and think that you're going to find somebody.
That's right.
Be out there and put yourself into those situations. So I learned how to put myself into situations that would produce sales for me.
Wow, That's really creative prospecting, Chris, I would say, to say the least, C3, don't you think so?
To say the least, yes, I agree.
And I want you to help coach him maybe this weekend. If he doesn't have anything to do, I want him to find a foreclosure to sit out in his car and work that. I appreciate that. Well, let's fast forward a little bit here, because Chris, you and I first met. You were looking for a coach, and we got hooked up together. And so we were working. You had by that time, just to fast forward, you already had a team. Tell me about. Let's go back to that time. Tell me about your team that you already built up. About the time that you and I met.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's when I was a part owner of independent brokerage, and we had built a team, and really looking for those other avenues in real estate. And we know how important the team platform is now. I mean, the industry is ran by teams. The last, I think, statistic I saw was over 66% of real estate is ran by teams. So we're seeing a huge shift, even from when I got into real estate at the time I did. Teams weren't a thing. It wasn't something that was at least around in my market. It wasn't something that was very popular. But now we see the team platform is actually dominating the real estate industry. So I started seeing this several years back, Cliff, when I reached out to you for some coaching, because I saw the writing on the wall, and I really saw that the independent broker owner, the non-competing brokers, were going to have a very hard time surviving in the new generation of real estate of what we're seeing. And that was really why I started really researching teams, understanding how to build teams, how to using teams for your value proposition and leveraging the teams. So that's what got me into teams. At the time we had grew our team when I was with you, Cliff, I think we had about, I can't remember now, but somewhere between 17 and 20 team agents.
Right. And then in terms of volume, weren't you guys doing around 80 million, as I recall?
Yeah, our last year with the brokerage, we were somewhere right around the 80 million mark. Yes.
Right. And so you, like me, were independent brokers, and I used to think that was the pinnacle. That's where I needed to be. I had a coaching business and I had an independent brokerage. I was helping agents generate leads all over North America, including Canada, and had the pleasure to work with guys like you and Brad. But I think what happened was there was a time during that process where an opportunity was presented to me by Brent Gove. It really changed my life, and I just happened to share it with you because you said, Cliff, hey, we're looking for the next chapter here. We're looking we've got the team up to 23 agents. We're at 80 million. We don't know where to go from here. And just by the grace of the good Lord, the opportunity had come to me, and I presented it to you. And you can tell us a little bit about what's gone on since then, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to kind of rewind just a little bit, expansion's always been a huge part that I believe in. That's, it's critical. And I'm a big fan of Darren Hardy, the founder of Success Magazine, but he wrote a great book called The Compound Effect. And Cliff, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I just finished that book before you showed EXP's platform to me. And after reading that book, my eyes were so open to the power of the compound effect and the power of expansion. And I tried to do expansion on my own as an independent. We tried to open a branch office in down South Florida and Miami area. And there's a lot that goes into that people maybe don't understand. Getting into other markets, just the tape that goes through it, the liability. I mean, you name it. You got to set up everything. Now you got the accounting. Now you got the building that's got to be set up. There's a lot that goes on, and I knew there had to be a better way. With modern technology, where we were heading, I mean, Amazon is dominating retail stores now. I use my phone, right, to pick up and call a car to take me wherever I need to go. And I knew something had to be out there. And when you showed me EXP, it was the best day of my life, I say, and the worst day, because I saw it, but then I had to follow through with what I saw. I knew this is what I was looking for. I knew I had to make the change. I knew I had to make the move. But what's the normal human reaction to change?
Fear, right?
They don't like it. Fear, everything. and then adversity comes up from anywhere. My wife and I love my wife so much, Kristen, and she's amazing in the real estate industry, Cliff. Now she sold already almost 50 homes this year. She is phenomenal.
Wow.
And she always keeps me on track, though, when it comes to adversity will not win. Because there's so many times something will come up that I need to do or we need to do, and then adversity will hit, and I'll be like, I just won't do that. This isn't the right time. And she'll go, no. When this happens. When this happens is when we got to push forward. Because on the other side of adversity, we've learned, is usually great potential growth. And it's so weird how when that opportunity comes up, XP did for me, everything hit the wall. Every reason came up why not to move this independent brokerage. Every doubt goes through your mind. And it's being able to control your thoughts and being able to see the benefits of the possibilities and understand that you either grow or die. And that is the life cycle. We have to grow or we die where we are. And so it took me a little bit of time of getting past that. It actually took, I think, Cliff, you probably remember maybe better than I do. I think it was about 4.5 months from when you first showed us EXP. And I started, really investigating EXP like it was a murder case again. And I was chasing, a fugitive. I was poking every hole I could into it. I had to make sure that this was the right move. And my only regret now, Cliff, is that I didn't actually go with my gut instinct and the knowledge base that I did, have at that time, understanding this is where real estate was going. This is what I needed, and joined the day that you actually showed us.
So, we're obviously we've had a great ride here since you came on board. I want to ask you, because now you actually have a very important position within the company. You were actually you left your real estate business to go and help the brokerage in a big way, and you're now the director of growth and expansion for the East Coast, correct?
Yeah, so it was the beginning of this year. I took the title of Vice President of Growth for the Eastern United States.
Okay, so you get to work with a lot of teams now. I want to drill back down here for a minute, because I know there's some folks listening who have teams that might be interested in this. You made the decision to come over, not only for yourselves as the business owners, but also for the benefit of your agents. And many of the teams that I've brought over look at this opportunity as a real benefit for their agents. Their agents have much more opportunity financially for growth. And then, just not having a glass ceiling that they have to break through, which is the typical broken old team model. And, again, I have to I have total respect for Mr. Keller and his book that he wrote. And I mean, it's the Bible. It's the Old Testament, but it is the Bible of real estate. And, the fact is that the team structure now is different. You've got 278 agents that are on your team, but the structure is a little bit different. Can you talk about how your move over, and not only your move, but how, as you help teams move over, how are the agents benefiting when the team leaders move over, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that is so incredible about our platform is the expansion model. And it's really never been done before, because we know the typical model in real estate has been the franchise model or the brick and mortar, where you go into an area, what do you have to do? You have to build, right? And we've seen now with modern technology, and this isn't all, guys, this is all in all different, fields now. This isn't just real estate. We were just the empires of it in the real estate industry here. But I mean, Amazon did this first. I mean, think about that. Netflix paved the way for this. Understanding that with technology now, we don't have to operate like it's 1983. And I joke about that a lot, because a lot of the platforms that are out there was built off the technology of those times. And I joke and say, how fast was the internet in 1983? Where was the World Wide Web? Well, none of that existed. It wasn't there. In the 80s, people were not looking forward into the 2000s saying that we're going to be able to operate at the speed of light. It wasn't in a business plan at that time. And that is definitely, an advantage that we hold, is that we are here in the technology age, and Glenn Sanford is one of the smartest technical guys I have ever met in my entire life. And I'll tell you, I think most agents go through this in their real estate career, right? Real estate is a modeling career, right? We see someone and we model after them. And it's great because the big producers will all write a book. And if you read the book, you can do what they do to have the outcome they have. And that was really how I did my career. I modeled off of my first mentor. Then I saw my broker at the time when I was working for, an independent broker, and I modeled off of him. And it was really looking and saying, well, if he can do this, I can do it. So why am I renting space when I can be an owner? And I truly believe in ownership. I own a house. I don't rent a house because I believe in ownership. So why would I want to rent space at a brokerage?
Right.
And
yeah.
Glenn Sanford, the more that I've gotten to know him and understand his train of thought, which I probably don't understand 30 to 40% of it. That's why he is who he is. he thinks at a completely different level. When he starts talking about artificial intelligence, I just have to nod my head like, I understand some of that. But he's one of the first people that I've met that I looked at and said, I can't do that. I can't model this. This platform that's been put in place, how we're publicly traded, how we're on the NASDAQ, how we've set up the sustainable revenue share program, how we've done the agents, the development, training, and tools, and how we put responsibility for agents to take care of agents. This is history right here, what we're in the making of, and I'm so passionate about it. But this is at a different level that just, it's not out there anywhere else. And people will ask me, well, is it better? Is it better? I don't like to say anything's better than something else. I will tell you this, we're different, and you haven't seen anything like this ever.
Yeah, and Glenn is, he's amazing. I've never, like you said, I've never been able to have the benefit of working as closely with somebody as smart as he is. And not only is he smart, but he's assembled a leadership team, Dave Kennard and Stacey Owen, who are really, at the top of their game. And we've got new people coming on to the company. James Bramble, I could go through the list here. Jeff and our CFO and Alan Goldman and the gang. But, the reality is that he's a really good people picker too. And that's one of the exciting things because that's what maintains the culture. You might notice the coffee cup here. I've got a list of our core values on the back of the cup. And I love it when Glenn gets in on the national calls and he's referencing the core values every Friday when we do our call at 10 o'clock Central Time. It's just great. That's the culture that got Apple and Harley Davidson and Google and some of these great companies where they are. And you may remember Ivan Meisner and a few other people have been quoted as saying that culture eats strategy for breakfast. And that's I see that so clearly here in this company. It's incredible.
I would love to, Cliff, if you don't mind, just add on that for 1 minute. Agent success is my passion. That's what I've come from in this industry. It's what I live for every day. And the words out there that Glenn speaks, and he says it quite often, is about our company being agent success obsessed. And I kind of just want to give you a little insight of what that looks like. Just got back a few weeks ago from our quarterly reviews with some board of directors and the top people in our company. And I will tell you, every single time that something is brought up or a proposal is made, Glenn is the first one to speak up and say, how is this being agent success obsessed? And if it's not justified for the success of the agent, it's not happening. And I want to kind of add on that a little bit because that's not something we typically see in this industry. We're not talking the success of the board of directors. We're not talking the success of the founder of the company or the brokers, right? Every decision in this company is made on the decision, is this being agent success obsessed? The agent is first in this company. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like that, mostly at the level that we are, over 21,000 agents now. And I truly believe that is one of the key reasons why we are the fastest growing real estate company ever in the history of real estate here in the United States.
Well, it is a fascinating story. You know, I wish this show was 3 hours long instead of just 30 minutes because, you know, we're both very passionate about the company and about how we're impacting other people's lives and just the general direction that things are going. Chris, I want to shift gears here a little bit. Because you're not only a great man of business acumen, but you've got a heart of gold, and I know you're very spiritual, and you really care a lot about other people. And I wasn't gonna make fun of your hair, but you did just shave your head recently. You want to share with us a little bit about why you did that?
Yeah, I'd love to share actually the reason why and share the real hero in the story. So I'm one of the agents on our team who's 20 years old. He got diagnosed with stage 2 cancer out of the blue. The good news is, though, he's in his last treatments now. It looks like everything's going to be great. But I told him, I said, hey, man, I've gotten very close with him, too. He's an amazing individual. And I told him, I said, hey, when you lose your hair, I said, I'm going to shave my head. And he was like, yeah, okay. And guys, if you ever make this commitment to someone, just like I would ask your wife first, just let her know what you're doing. Because I came home, I was like, hey, babe, I'm shaving my head. And she looked at me like, okay. Once she understood why, she was completely supportive of it. She just thought it was another crazy idea I had. So, but our son, Elijah, who's 8 years old, overheard what was going on. And he came out and I said, hey, buddy, I said, yeah, this is what Dad's doing. And he looks at me, he goes, well, I really like my hair. And he does his hair for about 10 minutes every morning to make sure it's perfect for school. He goes, I really like my hair. He goes, I don't think that's something I would do. And I said, okay, buddy, cool. And by the end of that night, he came up to me and said, Dad, I've been thinking more about this. He goes, and I want to support Zach. He goes, so I want to shave my head with you. And if I can show this picture, I don't know if you guys can see it on there, but there's Elijah over there with his shaved head. That's Zach in the back, my good buddy. And us with our shaved head. So the true hero in this, really, I look at is my 8-year-old son, who had to contemplate this on his own for about a day, and his spirit of kindness and love came out and said, Dad, I want to support Zach. So this story will always be close to my heart because of that.
Wow, man, that is such a great story, very heartwarming, and I'm so glad that your agent is turned the corner here and is looking better. That's really awesome. Well, man, you are really a true friend, and not only of me, but of everybody who comes across you, Chris. I mean, you have a heart of service, and you're just one of those special people that God puts on the world to help other people, and I just thank Him that you and I and our families are friends, and I can't wait to see you in Vegas. We'll be in Vegas next week at Brent Gove's Leadership Conference. That's at the Red Rock Inn. Boy, I would sure love to invite anybody in the audience who's interested in making a trip to Vegas with us. Just PM us, because we're definitely always looking for people to join us to have fun and learn about the great business that we're in, learn about real estate. And so if you would, Chris, if anybody wanted to get a hold of you to talk to you more about what you do and just to get to know you, what's a good way for people to contact you from internet, email, phone, whatever do you have there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people can email me anytime. I try to set up a real easy email, but it's dolifefulltime@gmail.com. So it's dolifefulltime@gmail.com, and that's something I'm really passionate about. Are people being able to do life full time and be able to experience those moments with their family and their children. And because so many people, they're busy on that work schedule full time and they miss so much. So absolutely, anybody can reach out to me at dolifefulltime@gmail.com.
Right. That's great. Thank you, Chris. And C3's got a book over here that kind of, have you seen this, C3? Tell them about what you're reading right now.
Own Your Day, Own Your Life. It was recommended by Jay Kinder. Thank you so much, man. This has been a great read.
I love Jay. Woo!
Yeah, what a great guy. He said it changed his life, so I'm diving deep into this and giving it a try.
So what's called One Day... Own the Day.
Own the Day, Own Your Life.
Own the Day, Own Your Life.
By Aubrey Marcus.
And
I highly recommend this to anyone trying to create some good habits and get into the right path.
Excellent. Good stuff. Well, I appreciate you bringing that up and sharing that with everybody. Hey, and by the way, if you're listening out there and you're on a traditional real estate team and you want to know a little bit more about how different your life can be, go to my webpage, go to clifffreeman.com and click on careers. I am actually actively seeking great local talent around here. I've got a tremendous lead generation system built out, and we've actually, I mean, we're covered up in leads. And we're also really stepping up the coaching and training and the skill set for people that are joining our team. I've got room for a few more select agents in certain areas. And if you'd like to really step up your game and can make a commitment to earn at least $150,000 in the next 12 months, we might talk together. We might speak and see if it would be a good fit for both of us. So, Chris, listen, I really want to thank you again for being on the show, man. You are a true brother, and I can't wait to see you next week. Thank you so much. Give my best to your lovely wife and the kids.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show, Chris.
Yeah,
great to see you.
And one last thing, if you got one final one nugget, one piece of advice that you can share with our realtor audience out there as we sign off here, what would that be?
Yeah, you need to wake up and you need to own the day every day. No one else is going to own it for you. No one else is going to get up and make something happen. That is your God-given responsibility. And if he's giving you the ability to do it, go out there and make it happen.
Amen. That's
Wow.
it. Chris, all right, buddy. Great to see you. Folks in the audience, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it. Hit the like and love button for us. Let us know you're out there. And we send everybody out there much love from Dallas, Texas. And we will see you next week. And we'll be live from the Red Rock Inn in Las Vegas. So make sure you tune back in next week. Same time, same station. See you then.